WizitUp.
The National Examination Council, paper 3 is what we're taking right away. Now let's look at it. It takes 1 hour for you to capture that paper within the framework of your examination. And then we shall be looking at the details of the questions, how to answer them, the strategies, why some answers are correct, why some answers are appropriate, why some answers are wrong. We'll be explaining all this in balance of one another as we get into the session. Now, let's move it. Now, here you say each question is followed by 5 options, lettered A to E. Choose the correct option from each question and shade in pencil on your answer sheet the answer space that bears the same letter as the option you have chosen. Give any answer you wish to change. An example is given below. Now, in the example, you have the statement, traffic congestion means, and you have 5 options there. A says, a lot of traffic. B says, free flow of traffic. C says, packed vehicles. D says, traffic accident. E, traffic calming, right? So when we talk about traffic congestion, to congest something or to have a congestion around something means having a lot, within a particular space. So when you're talking about traffic congestion, you simply refer to a lot of traffic. And in this case, it could be vehicular traffic, it could be human traffic, it could be any other traffic. Just picture your mind what happens on a typical street of New York City, or the streets of London, or Broad Street in Nigeria every Monday morning. I mean, a lot of people want to get to their workplaces as early as possible, say 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then you have a lot of vehicular and human traffic. So you say there is traffic congestion. That is what we mean. So in this case, what will be correct will be a lot of traffic. So option A will be the most appropriate over there. May I, at this point, try to distinguish for you between a correct answer and an appropriate answer? Times there are when certain answers will be correct but not appropriate. Okay? For your examination, what you look for, what you search for, what you go for will be, or are supposed to be, options that are most appropriate. I'll keep explaining as we go on in practical terms when we get to other questions. So, as you have here, the correct answer is a lot of traffic in quotes, which is letter A. Therefore, the answer space A will be shaded. So you know you're going to have a piece of pencil, and there's a space here in which A is written. Now, in your booklet, this is what you have. You have a space like this, and in it, A is written. So you're going to take your pencil, as I will do here. If A is your correct answer, as indicated over here, you just shade the A, and that indicates your answer. Remember, this is going to be marked by computer, okay? It's not human being that will mark it, so you need to shade properly. Do not shade above the board. So if you have something like this, the box is here, and you have to shade. If you shade this way, you may not have an accurate marking. So in this case, it is not enough for you to just know or understand the answer. It's also important for you to shade the boxes appropriately, okay, so as to be able to get the correct answer that will be marked by the computer. All right, let's move it. It goes on. Now, we get into the practical aspect itself. We have choose from the following options lettered A to E, the one that is nearest in meaning to the word in italics, numbers 1 to 10. Now here, they're simply telling you that you have 10 questions, and what you will be expected to do is choose words or phrases that are nearest in meaning. Now remember, in your lesson period, we discussed words that are nearest in meaning to one another, and we titled that synonym or synonymy, if we want to use it in larger concepts. Remember, I told you that synonyms do not mean words that are only nearest in meaning to one another. Yes, it is important for words to be nearest in meaning to one another for them to be synonymous. But what is important, much more important than that nearness in meaning, is the ability of these words to suitably replace one another in the sentences without changing or altering the meaning of the original sentence. So, two things you're searching for, two things you're solving for. One, the nearness in meaning, and then the second one, the suitability for replacement. You need to emphasize these two before you successfully choose a synonym during your examination. So if you look at what we have here, it said Mr. John is the most eligible candidate for the post. If you study the character in number 1, you see that the word eligible is written in italics. It is italicized. And that is the word you are supposed to get a synonym for. Remember, you are not only choosing a word that is nearer in meaning to the other one, you are choosing the one that is more appropriate than the rest of the other words in terms of how the original word is used in the sentence. So, you have the options: agreeable, enterprising, intelligent, popular, and then qualified. These 5 words, A to E, you're supposed to choose one of them that is nearest in meaning to the word eligible. When you are eligible for something, you are qualified for that thing. So, if you sit your examination and you pass very well, you will be eligible to get into the university. You will be eligible to sit the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board examination and then get into the university. So to be eligible for something is to be qualified for something. You are eligible to vote and be voted for in Nigeria according to the Constitution if you are 18 years, according to the universal adult suffrage. You are eligible. You are eligible to have kids if you are duly and legally married. You are eligible to travel out of your country if you have a valid international passport. So, eligibility means to be qualified. If you are qualified for something, you are eligible for that thing. But we also look at the 3 other words that are there. B says enterprising. To be enterprising is close to being industrious. I mean, you have a lot of activities that you can do to make things happen, to accumulate financial resources or material resources in general. Okay, to be intelligent means to have a very high IQ. You have something upstairs. Medically, we say you have hyperconvoluted gyra. The structure of a brain is very convoluted, and that makes you a very brilliant person. Okay? You may also not want to take intelligence for brilliance. There are people who are very intelligent, but they're not brilliant. But there are people who are brilliant who are also not intelligent. It's a matter of context. I think intelligence is all-encompassing. You're smart, your brain is sharp, you can quickly pick things at any point in time. But if you are brilliant, you have ability to learn fast, you know, especially when it comes to certain issues. They're very similar, but they are not perfect synonyms, except they are so used in certain sentences. The most appropriate answer here is E, qualified. To be eligible for something is to be qualified for that thing. If you are 18 years old, you are eligible to vote and be voted for according to the Nigerian Constitution and in line with universal adult suffrage. That means you are qualified to vote. Now, those are the two words that are synonymous in this case. And of course, since eligible is the identified word in the sentence, qualified will be the most appropriate answer.
WizitUp